JaQuan Page is a senior at Collingswood High School and is the running back for the school's football team. Recently, he accepted a scholarship from Delaware Valley University to continue his academic and athletic career. Although JaQuan has been very successful this year, success has not always been in the playbook.
Well, I didn't really apply myself too much. I didn't care too much about school. I was worried all about football, and as I proceeded to my high school career, I realized that I was in danger of failing and not being able to play football. So I got my act together and started asking more teachers for help and staying at the school late and doing more homework and studying for my tests. I really came to school in the first place to go to football practice, so when I started skipping and was still able to go to football practice, it really didn't affect me too much.
JaQuan's academic struggles began his freshman year of high school. JaQuan had a hard time taking his academics as seriously as he did football. His teachers, along with his coaches, saw great potential in him, but he didn't see it in himself. When the superintendent, Dr. Oswald, realized that JaQuan was an at-risk student, he began getting both teachers and coaches involved in JaQuan's personal and academic challenges.
I was saying Mr. Presida, my history teacher, because I always had his class first period, and he always used to wonder the days I came in and the days I didn't. He'd be like, "Why'd you miss school?" And I never really had an excuse. So he put it in my head you have to stop missing school, you have to start coming to practice, and you have to start taking everything more seriously. You're going to be a great one day, and you have to realize that yourself.
I had people his freshman year that would sort of tell me how much potential he had, and I don't know that he really believed that, and if he did believe it, I don't know that he necessarily had the specific skills to really tap into and reach that potential. So just by helping to kind of put a little bit of pressure on him and help shift his focus a little bit into what needed to be done, he started to see that success come, and with the success he just flourished.
Mr. Presida encouraged me to take my first honors class he always told me you're excelling in my class, you're doing great, you're better than everybody in my class, you can definitely handle an honors class. And I didn't really believe it, I'd never been in an honors class before that, and I really didn't want to do any of the extra work. But he told me every day, he was you're going to take this honors class and you're going to do well.
I had JaQuan in his first honors class that he took in U.S. History 1. He was a good student, but he had to adjust to really what was going on.
Right away, he was an eager learner. He led by example. Obstacles were challenges for him. So even if he struggled in some areas, he overcame those struggles with just hard work, determination.
Miss Whitman, my 7th grade English teacher, she definitely helped me the most, and she still helps me to this day, and I haven't had her class in 5 years. I come to her classroom whenever I need help with anything, or she'll make me food just so because I was always hungry sometimes in class, and she'll bribe me if you do this homework, I'll give you some cookies, and that's always what made me get my act together. She's the one who made me want to do better in school.
I think that even though it was probably the most stressful year of teaching I've ever had was that year, I think JaQuan knew that I loved him and his classmates with all my heart.
Sophomore year, I broke my hand in the preseason and a second scrimmage, and it was heartbreaking. I was distraught. I really thought I was going to have a great season. We were missing our first line. I started linebacker for the first game, and I was going to have a chance to start, but then I broke my hand, and I was out for 6 weeks. And it was just detrimental. I didn't want to play football anymore. I wanted to quit. I'm going to stop going to practice. But then Coach Lamore came out to me and was you're not going to quit. You're going to be back before the season's over, and we're going to use you, and we're going to need you. And he's the one who told me you're going to make it.
Being surrounded by the support from his coaches and teachers was a contributing factor to JaQuan's success. His success also came from himself and his will to work hard enough to stay on the team. JaQuan's story was so inspiring that it was named the JaQuan movement, which encouraged teachers to find their JaQuan.
I believe they started the JaQuan movement because it's really inspirational. You find a kid who is struggling, who doesn't think he can do better than what he is, and who doesn't have faith in himself, and you push him to do better. Everyone needs someone to push them to do better. And
I'm going to take a small amount of credit. The Find Your JaQuan program, which has been so successful at Collingswood, I went through guidance his freshman year and said I'd like to recommend JaQuan for honors history, and then lo and behold, later the next year we met with Dr. Oswald. The program was named Find Your JaQuan.
When I first heard about it, I was in awe. I was wow, that's crazy. I never really thought coming to high school that I'll have something named after me. Definitely not something this big and this inspirational.
I believe that we have a lot of students in Collingswood, not only at the high school but throughout our K-12 system, who have a lot of potential inside, and they need to understand how they can tap into their own potential to really realize and experience the success that's already inside them.
In the beginning of the year, Dr. Oswald told me at the teachers conference, the first day for teachers, that I was getting a $10,000 scholarship if I got my GPA over 3.0 and I kept it, and when I get to college, if I keep my GPA over 2.5. Out of all my mom's kids, I'll be the first one to go to college, and on my mom's side of the family, I'll be the first one to finish college and go to college, hopefully. So it's just really inspirational. I feel like I'm making her proud, but like also she done a lot for me to get me to this point.
He's a kid that, he's a tremendous kid. He's a kid that we're going to miss here at Collingswood football, probably just in the hallways, but for the football program, we're going to miss him a lot. The smile, he brings energy. He's a kid that, I have a 3-year-old son about to be 3 years old, and if my son grows up to be a kid like JaQuan Page, and I raised my kid right.